So I got an old baby camera, and in this video I want to make a stand for it. The situation is that our baby started grabbing for it. We had it with elastics in the crib, and then so we put it next to it, and it didn't quite work. So we need something higher, something that is going to give us a good position to look from, and also something that's compact and strong enough. Now you can see the cable here next to it, so I'm gonna figure out like how high it can be, and for this project I'm gonna use some 2x4 and 2x8. The 2x8 I'm gonna use for the base. So the idea is to have like a square piece of wood. So I think two 2x8s next to each other should do the trick, and I want to try to cut a perfectly square piece of wood to go up to act as the vertical part, so to speak. So all of that is gonna be done in this video. So first let's see how long the cable is. Oh wow, the cable is pretty long. It's as tall as me, so that's 2 meters. I'm gonna leave off like a little bit. So I think I'm gonna make it this high. So this high from the ground. So this is approximately 130. So at 130 centimeters will be the top of the base, and then there's a little bit of slack in the cable, so we can plug it in into an extension cord that's on the floor if needed. Now, and the stand that I will make in this video, you can use it for anything that you want to hold up, be it a light, a smartphone, a tablet, I don't know, whatever you can think of. You can hold it up with this stand. I'll make sure that it gets pretty steady. So I will start by measuring the width of the piece of 2x8. So this is well, exactly 14 centimeters. So I'll make a marking at 28 on this side. And the reason for marking it at 28 is because I want to have a square piece of wood. So like this, if I have two of these pieces and I put them next to each other, I'm gonna have a square piece of wood. So that's 28 and 56. I'll make the marking with the carpenter square. Now next up I'll cut off these pieces, and I will use the carpenter square as the guide for my circle saw. So this here is going to be the base. This is a pretty square piece of wood. Yeah, I know it looks pretty rough as well, like it's old wood. I like to use the resources that I have available. So yeah, when the job is almost done and I'm about to put it all together, I will all sand it really heavily, and then I'm always surprised at how nice it comes out. So I'm sure it will come out like that here as well. Now I'm gonna make the vertical piece next, and after that I'll have to figure out like if this is heavy enough to keep it all in place. I think it is, but I'm not 100% yet. So the design for now is just this piece, but I might add another square piece using some 2x4s, but I'll have to see how it all fits together. So in order to make a square cut, my idea is the following. So I'm gonna expose the blade of my circle saw. I will place it against the wood, and I will mark where I want to cut the wood. So this light blue mark right here, this is where I'm gonna cut off the wood. So I'm gonna use that as the guide while I cut off the wood. Let's double check the length. I want it 130, so let's see if that's in this piece of wood. Oh man, it's too short. This is 120, so I'm gonna reconsider. Let's see. you know what? I think this is gonna be high enough as well. So I'm gonna adjust my design. I'm gonna make it slightly lower because my piece of wood is slightly shorter. Okay, I'll reclamp the wood so I can continue cutting on the other side. Now the wood is old and rough, but it looks pretty square, so it's something that I can work with. So I want the wood to be in the middle of the two pieces of 2x8, so, and I want to do it precise this time. So I'll first mark the middle of this piece of wood, and then I'll figure out a way to position this. Okay, so 28, so at 14, I'll mark it here. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same here. And then I'll just extend the line using the carpenter square. Okay, so now that I got the middle, I can position the vertical piece and just trace around it. I'm just gonna do this to the best of my abilities. Okay, and I'm just gonna number them as well. So I'm gonna put number 1 here, so 1, and on this side 2, 2, so I know what's gonna line up where. Now next up I will take the jigsaw and cut out these pieces. What I want to make sure of is to keep some of the line visible, so it's gonna be an extremely tight fit. No way this is gonna fit, so yeah, no way. Almost perfect this, almost perfect. So a really small amount I'm gonna take off again. And I know, like, to do this perfectly, like it's better to use like a bandsaw, because then the cut will be straight down, because with the jigsaw it's always like just a little bit slanted. But you know, I try to make the most of the resources that I have available here. Okay, this is what I was looking for. Okay, this is the right fit. The only thing I may need to adjust is the depth. Yeah, on both sides, you can see it's close enough. It's close enough. Now that I look at it, I actually like the tension of the line of the space in between here. Looks pretty decent actually. But, yeah, that's where dirt and dust and all sorts of stuff will accumulate. So I'm just gonna cut it a little bit deeper on both sides, and then it should fit very flush. And here you can really see it, like the line, the cut should be perfectly straight down at 90 degrees, but it's like slanted. So yeah, that's the limitation of the jigsaw. So that's what I mean by you should use a bandsaw, because a mobile bandsaw, it is always a perfect cut. So I'm gonna make the most of it. I'm gonna cut it as well from this side to correct for this. Now this is what I wanted. Like right now there's actually a bit too much space here, but since the wood is not completely floss here. After sanding, I think it's gonna fit just fine. Yeah, one worry though is the rigidity. So not just for the weight, but also for the rigidity. I just have to add some 2x4. So I'm gonna add 2 pieces of 2x4, so one here and one here, to give it more rigidity. And I will use the same strategy. So I'll cut it out to a square and then make a small incision so it fits around the vertical piece. The width of this 2x4 is 8.6 centimeters. So at 2 times, so at 17.2, I'll make a marking. And also at 34.4, so it's right here. So I'll repeat the process. I'll mark the line with the carpenter square, and then this time around I will use the circle saw to cut it off. Okay, so I got 1 and a 2 here, so I'm gonna make sure that I have it right. Okay, so 1 and a 2 here, so that means that I can put this like so, and then continue numbering. I need to keep in mind that it's gonna be slightly higher, so I'm gonna trace it. So I'm going to continue numbering. So this is number 3, so slightly higher. I put a 3. And on this side, a 4. So 4 here as well. Went a little too quick just now. I cut off a little bit more than I should have. And I also see that this doesn't really line up. I can turn it upside down. This is floss and this is also more floss. But then I want to take off a small bit of hair. Ooh. Alright, so that's much better. So yeah, I can already kind of see the design that I had in mind, and well, I think it looks pretty okay. Before putting it together, I will do a heavy sanding, and yeah, because it really brings out the best of the wood. That's it for the sanding, so now I'll put everything together. To be honest, it looks more like driftwood now. Really interesting. It's been outside in the elements for a couple of years, but yeah, still. So next up I'm gonna see which size screws I can use. So I have 2-inch screws. So it seems a little bit short. Wait, so I got a 3-inch. It seems a little bit long. I should have 2.5-inch because. Well, actually it can work, but if I put it in too deep, then it's gonna come out. So I just need to make sure of that. Alright, so I numbered the pieces on the inside, so I'm gonna use that to line it up with the vertical piece, because I left the numbers out down here, so that should make it easy to put it back together. Four will go here. I must say there is something about the weathered look of the wood. It really adds something to it. Yeah, it's probably not necessary, but I'm still gonna pre-drill the wood. Afterwards I'll just put in the screws. I'll start here, and then I'll figure out how to attach the vertical piece. My initial response is I'm going to leave the vertical piece as it is, because it's in firm. There's no wiggle room. Well, a little bit. Yeah, the quick way to fix it would be to just drive in a screw from these sides, but it's not exactly going to look so good. So the alternative is to drill a hole from this side and then make it wide, and then just use like a 2-inch screw to insert it from there. I think that's the only real option to make it still look good, and also to have it be pretty firm. So let's see if the hole is there. Okay, this could go in the hole, so I can use a wide head drill to do it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I kind of want the extra rigidity, so I'm just gonna do it. So I want the width of the hole to be a little bigger than the thickest part of the driver. So that would be 11/16. Yeah, I can go with this one, 11/16. I'm gonna drill it until I reached the end of the blade here. And I'll put it in first gear. Okay. Okay, let's double check. It's in this deep, so maybe a 2-inch screw would be long enough, but I'll just go for the 3-inch. Now, and the final part is to attach the baby camera itself. Yeah, I taped it with duct tape because the two pieces of plastic they broke off. Just not such good quality, but it's still working. There's no hook here, so I'm gonna drill like a really small hole and just screw it on the top of the stand. So this wood was originally at the corner here at a slight angle, so I'm gonna leave that because the camera is gonna point a bit down, most likely. So I'm just gonna screw it on like this, like the micro USB is right here. I'll screw it on, and after that I'll use some new duct tape and tape back the head. It has been in place like that for a good long time. Okay. Well, I'll put a clean piece of duct tape later on, but you get the idea, right? So, stand for a baby monitor. It took me longer than anticipated, mostly because I needed to do a lot of sanding. But it's really very simple. I personally don't mind the exposed screws. I think projects should be utilitarian, and that's it for sure. And how I like to build. I like to build with speed, style, and strength. So that's definitely here.
It's not going to picture anything that this is a wooden thing, like you stand it and thing.
I did a heavy sanding. Yeah.
I put it on like good pieces because if the children fall on, they get splinters.
Oh, I know, but then I missed the piece. Oh.
Yeah, it's I really love the idea of woodwork, but I have fear of the woodwork that is that not a problem.
Oh.
I know, I think we have to be careful. I like the woodwork, it's your own work, but
Yeah, you're right.
kids. I just touch here and a piece of thing one thing. I like it.
It's just water to take off the dust. The fine dust.